The Kelare refugee ships drifted through the void like broken ghosts, their hulls scarred by plasma fire and gravitational shear. Elsa watched them from the observation deck of the UNSS Defiance, her breath fogging the reinforced glass as 16,000 souls limped toward the only beacon that had answered their distress call, humanity's outer colonies. "They're not our problem," Admiral Chen had said during the emergency council. The Galactic Concordat made their position clear. Harboring the Kelare puts every human world at risk. But Elsa had seen the data streams, the intercepted transmissions showing Kelare children pressed against viewports, their bioluminescent skin flickering in patterns that needed no translation. "Help us, please help us." She'd voted to grant them asylum, so had Verk. Verk stood beside her now, his arms crossed over his engineering uniform, jaw set in that stubborn way she'd learned to recognize over 3 years of deep space missions together. "The docking clamps are ready," he said quietly. "But Chen's right about one thing. The moment we take them aboard, we're making enemies of half the galaxy." "We already have enemies," Elsa replied. "What's a few more?" The Kelare had been the Concordat's laborers, their homeworld strip-mined for exotic matter that powered faster-than-light drives across 1,000-species fleets. When they'd finally risen up, demanded sovereignty, the Concordat's response had been swift and merciless. Complete economic embargo, military blockade, and a declaration that any species offering aid would face immediate sanctions. Humanity, still the newest member of galactic civilization, had been expected to fall in line. "Docking sequence initiated," the ship's AI announced. Through the viewport, the first Kelare vessel, barely larger than a transport shuttle, made contact with the Defiance's port airlock. Metal groaned against metal. Seal lights blinked from red to green. Verk pulled up a holographic display, his fingers dancing through layers of code. "I'm routing power from secondary systems to the medical bays. They'll need it. Preliminary scans show radiation sickness, malnutrition, and," he paused, his expression darkening, "pulse weapon injuries, recent ones." "Someone's still hunting them," Elsa breathed. "Or sending a message to anyone who might help." The airlock hissed open. The first Kelare stumbled through, a female, her crystalline exoskeleton cracked and dulled, carrying an infant whose light pulsed weak and erratic. Behind her, dozens more emerged, some on makeshift stretchers, others supporting each other with trembling limbs. Elsa moved forward, her translator earpiece converting the musical tones of Kelare speech. "You're safe now. We have medical teams standing by." "No," the female's voice resonated through the deck plating. "No place is safe. The Concordat enforcers are 3 light towers behind us. They will not allow us to survive. And you," her eyes, multifaceted and ancient, fixed on Elsa, "you have condemned yourselves by showing mercy." Verk was already moving, his fingers flying across his wrist-mounted console. "She's right. I'm picking up gravitic distortions at the system's edge, multiple capital ships dropping from FTL." He looked up, meeting Elsa's gaze. "Concordat fleet, 27 vessels, ETA 90 minutes. The bridge erupted into controlled chaos when they arrived. Admiral Chen stood at the tactical display, his face carved from stone. "Options," he barked. "We can't fight them," Commander Okafor reported. "We have 1 heavy cruiser and 2 frigates. They have enough firepower to glass a continent." "We could surrender the Kelare," someone suggested. "Claim we didn't understand the full situation." "Belay that," Chen snapped. Then more quietly, "We knew what we were doing." Elsa stepped forward. "Admiral, request permission to address the Concordat fleet directly." Chen studied her. "You think you can negotiate with them?" "No, sir, but I can buy Verk some time." Understanding flickered in the Admiral's eyes. He'd seen Verk's personnel file, knew about the young engineer's unorthodox solutions to impossible problems. "Lieutenant Verk, what do you need?" Verk was already halfway to the engineering deck. 45 minutes and access to the ship's quantum entanglement array. And sir, tell everyone to secure anything not welded down. Chen nodded. You have your 45 minutes. Elsa, you're on. The Concordat fleet commander appeared on the main view screen, a Vethian, scales gleaming like oil on water, 4 eyes arranged in a pattern that suggested evolution on a world with multiple suns. Human vessel, you are harboring criminals wanted for terrorism and economic sabotage. Surrender them immediately or face the consequences of your defiance. Elsa stood straight, shoulders back. Commander, the beings aboard our vessel are refugees fleeing persecution under the Galactic Convention on Sentient Rights. A convention, the Vethian interrupted, that applies only to recognized sovereign species. The Kellerai forfeited that status when they destroyed 3 mining installations and killed 15,000 workers. Those installations were on their homeworld, Elsa shot back. Those workers were overseers enforcing slavery in all but name. Your species has been Concordat members for less than a decade. You dare lecture us on law? I dare stand for what's right. Elsa glanced at the chronometer. 20 minutes gone. Humanity remembers what it's like to be told our rights don't matter, that our lives are worth less because we're different. We've made mistakes, terrible ones, but we learned, and we won't stay silent while you make the same ones. The Vethian's expression shifted into something that might have been amusement. Noble words, but words change nothing. You have 30 minutes to comply. After that, we will take the Kellerai by force, and we will remember that humanity chose to stand against the Concordat. The transmission cut. Chen exhaled slowly. Well, that went about as expected. Verk, please tell me you have something. Verk's voice crackled over the intercom, breathless with excitement and fear. Something, yes, something good, we'll find out. I need everyone to evacuate the aft sections. This is going to get experimental. 23 minutes later, the Defiance shuddered. Not from weapons fire, from something internal, a deep thrumming that resonated in bone and metal alike. The lights flickered, and every screen on the bridge suddenly displayed the same message. Causality anchor engaged. Verk, Chen said carefully, what have you done? Something beautiful and probably illegal, Verk replied. The main view screen flickered to life, showing the engineering deck where Verk stood surrounded by a web of crackling energy. I've weaponized our quantum entanglement array. In about 3 minutes, I'm going to broadcast the HFY story, the real story, with full documentation of Concordat atrocities, simultaneously to every network device in Concordat space. Elsa felt her heart stutter. That's trillions of endpoints, the bandwidth alone. We'll burn out every communication relay in this sector, yes. But here's the thing about quantum entanglement. The message arrives everywhere at once. They can't stop it. They can't censor it. And once the other species see what's been done, the Concordat's political will to enforce this blockade evaporates. They'll destroy us for this, Akafor whispered. Maybe, Verk agreed, but they'll do it knowing the entire galaxy is watching. The Concordat fleet was closing, weapons charging. Elsa could see the energy signatures building on the tactical display. 30 seconds until they were in firing range. Do it, Chen ordered. Verk's fingers flew across the final sequence. The Defiance screamed, every system pushed beyond its design limits. And then, light. Not the destructive light of weapons, but something else. A pulse of pure information, riding quantum channels across the galaxy at speeds that made faster-than-light travel look sluggish. In fleet command centers and civilian homes, on colony worlds and ancient homeworlds, screens lit up with images. Kellerai children working in radiation-soaked mines. Concordat overseers administering punishment. Families torn apart. A people's slow extinction dressed up as economic efficiency. And humanity's response, we stand with you. The Concordat fleet held position. Minutes ticked by. Then an hour. Finally, the Vethian commander's face reappeared on the view screen, but he wasn't looking at Elsa. He was reading something off-screen, his scales rippling in patterns she recognized as distress. "It seems," he said slowly, "that our government is experiencing significant political pressure to reassess our Kelari policy. The Sindarin Collective has threatened economic sanctions. The Prelium Federation is calling for an investigation, and 3 Concordat member species have just filed formal protests." He paused. "Humanity has made powerful enemies today, but it appears you've made even more powerful friends." The fleet withdrew. Later, in the quiet of the observation deck, Elsa and Verk watched the Kelare ships disperse toward the human colonies that had volunteered to host them. The young female from before approached, her child sleeping peacefully against her chest, its bioluminescence steady and strong now. "Why?" she asked in her musical voice. "Your people risked everything. Why?" Elsa thought about all the complicated political and ethical reasons, about game theory and long-term strategic benefits. But in the end, the answer was simpler. "Because someone had to," she said, "and because we remembered what it's like to be forsaken." The Kelare touched her forehead to Elsa's, a gesture of profound respect. "We will remember this. When humanity needs allies, when your voices cry out into the dark, we will answer. We will stand with you." Verk smiled, though exhaustion lined his face. "Fair warning, we're pretty good at finding trouble." "Then it's good," the Kelare replied, her light pulsing warm and gold, "that you're also good at finding each other." As the stars wheeled overhead and the last refugee ship docked safely with its new home, Elsa realized that humanity had done something remarkable. Not by being the strongest or the smartest or the oldest species in the galaxy, but by remembering, even among the stars, what it meant to be human. What it meant to choose compassion over convenience. To shout into the void, "We stand with you." And to mean it.